Hey, Chin Music listeners, welcome to episode 27 of Chin Music with Mitch and Tony. We're your hosts, Mitch Bone and Tony Legaly. Tony, how have you been, man?
Mitchell, we got ourselves a doozy. We got ourselves a doozy does it of a show, buddy.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, things are going good in the world, brother. Just settling in. It is playoff time in the NHL, playoff time in the NBA. Oh my God, let's get into this, baby. What do we got going?
Yes.
First and foremost, what did you do this weekend?
Well, I actually had a very busy weekend. I don't know about you, but so
Oh,
my weekend started on Thursday. Um, and I started out by going to the preseason game for the Billings Outlaws. Our
yes, dude, we were going to talk about this. So this is very critical to our show here. We're going to talk Outlaws. Sorry to interrupt
yes.
you.
No,
Just
you're good.
excited and shit.
Yeah, it was a preseason game, so they kind of kicked the crap out of the team they were playing, the Denver Sharks. I actually felt bad for them, but yeah, no, it was still fun. Looking forward to many more games. The only sad part is their next game I will not be able to go to. So yeah,
Mitchell, let's talk about this so that everybody listening knows. Mitchell, what is I mean the Billings Outlaws? What I mean, this is a brand new deal. Like let's tell all on this deal the facts as usual that we supply on this show. What is okay? So is the Outlaws just a minor league indoor football league? Is it the NFL of the AF of the Arena Football League, or like what are we talking here in the reality of the situation? What is going on in Billings for the Outlaws?
yeah. So when the Outlaws used to be in town, I think they were considered the minor leagues of the AFL.
Okay.
But now they are a part of the Arena Football League. And what's cool about this new league is before we would play a lot of, teams in our area. Like I think there was a Rapid City team,
Hmm.
Gillette, different teams in our area. But now with this league, I know they're going to like New York. Um, there's a team in New York.
Wow.
There's there's teams in all different parts of the country. New York is the one that I remember because it's obviously all the way on the East Coast, and I was surprised we were going that far. But so that's cool. It's more of a nationwide league. I do believe it is called the Arena Football League, like the old ones that used to be in the video game. So I think they're trying to revive that with this league.
Okay, so you're not. So you're saying, I mean, you're saying this is the Arena Football League. Like, if Arena Football, the top tier. I mean, this should be the highest quality of players out there. Obviously, we're sort of an expansion team, so understandably so. If it's, but you're saying there's powerhouses of Arena Football League teams. Is that right in this league?
From what I've gathered, I mean the schedule announcement was at Madison Square Garden, or not Madison Square Garden, Times Square,
Okay.
like this spring. So from everything I can tell, I mean something's not going to be showcased in New York City without it being semi legit.
Right.
So yeah, I think this is legitimate. I think this might be, and I might be totally wrong and talking out of my ass here. I don't know.
I don't think so. I really don't think you are. I think this is it, and I think that if this is it, and I'm not saying it's not whatever, but I believe that this is the AFL, and I just got to say first and foremost, props to good great job executing this for the ownership group or whatever they got going on there. Right?
Yeah, no, I mean to bring, because I mean Billings has semi-pro sports. They've had the Mustangs forever. They've flirted with having hockey. I think they had basketball for a little bit, but they've had semi-pro teams. Obviously, the Outlaws were a semi-pro team at some point. So to have them become the professional like they are, I think that's awesome and good for the city of Billings and the surrounding area. Because, as you know, being from Billings, um, people don't just go to events that are from Billings. So we get people from all over our area that come to our events. So
Yeah, I mean this is legit. They're the Billings Outlaws are in the Western Conference. I don't know if, but I'm recognizing some teams here. The Arizona Rattlers recognize that for sure.
Yep,
Charlotte Rage, Carolina Cobras. I mean, this is it, man. That could be a huge thing for Billings, and I hope that Metro Park and like they typically do. If I hope that them and the ownership group kind of just rallies around here if there is ever in need of any sort of transitioning or change or whatever. Like, let's just suit this to the people and make it a staple. So good support
for
all
sure.
around. That would be sick. And then hopefully, once we draw this crowd, we can talk about potentially a WHL hockey team, which would be amazing.
I think that's probably the next step. And honestly, I think Billings can
I hope
support
so.
it.
I do too. WHL team, betcha. Yep,
And
yep, yep, yep.
I know that there's Centennial Ice Arena, and no disrespect to Centennial Ice Arena, but why not have it in the Metro?
Well, money, yeah, always money, and that's what I mean. Like, if it's feasible or whatever, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's always that though. The Metro is the place. I think I still think of the old Bulls game. So
Yeah,
anyways, I was super pumped to get your take on knowing this big news of the Outlaws and proudly, being in Billings as a part of the AFL. You went to the preseason game. Now, I didn't realize that was kind of a pro kind of thing, but essentially they had a warm up game. Did they play any of their studs? I mean, do you know of any of the studs? I mean, obviously we got locally, you got Donahue, Dylan
right.
Donahue, he's an
Um,
ex NFL guy.
I'm gonna say no because Dylan Donahue did not play.
He didn't play, but they still work these guys, right?
They
Like,
still work these
what,
guys left and right. I'm gonna
what,
say since Dylan didn't play, and I know he's a starter, um, no, they probably didn't
the
play any of the starters.
the product that you did see on the field, Mitchell, based off your eye test, are you encouraged?
Um, I mean, the fact that a brand new startup team came out and beat up another team 68-0. I don't care what conference they're in, that's a beatdown. Um, I would say I'm semi impressed, especially if that's the second string. Um, yeah, I will say though the Denver team they played didn't have much going for them,
They're
but
pretty garbage.
they were pretty bad.
They're
But
pretty I mean, Mitchell. I mean, I'm talking about the way that these players carried themselves. I'm talking the way that they, you can just see that pep in the step. I'm talking
oh
about
yeah,
hands. I'm talking about these guys.
I mean the defense was swarming.
Okay.
It was very very suffocating, which I
Okay.
love that. The offense probably because they were up so much didn't really show all its cards.
Mm.
Um, but they still played well. The one thing I love about the Arena Football League is because it's a 50-yard field, the quarterbacks can throw it from one end of the field to the other.
Mm.
So we had our quarterback, he was on like their 5-yard line, and he threw it all the way to the other side of the field for a touchdown.
Okay. Okay. So we got some cool things going. Regardless, if we pack that place, I mean, since it's the AFL, Mitchell, do you think it'll be loaded with I mean, is the AFL big? I mean, at one point, I think somebody tried to make the AFL big, and I think his name was John Elway.
I think so.
Uh,
At one point, it was big. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, they had the AFL video game. So at one point, it
yeah.
was just as big as like Madden and like the NFL.
Wow.
Not just as big, but
Wow.
you get what I'm saying, relatively.
I'm pretty stoned, but not that stoned, Mitchell.
But no, I mean, I think there's potential here for us to really make a big thing with the Outlaws.
Wow.
And I mean,
Well, I
Billings,
know Dylan. I know Donahue. We can get him on here. I just sold him my old snowplow from last year. So I
let's
hope
do it.
he's.
Let's get
I
him.
know. Yeah, yeah. He'd love to come on. He's great. So
Let's do it.
If that is the case and everything is good, even if it's not the case, what a great storyline here. I hope the best for those guys. Like I said, I hope they have the support to really put on a show. Here,
Yeah.
like, we had went. Shelb and I went and caught the professional bull riding, the PBR
Yes, you
at
did.
Billings. Yeah, so and that's always a good show, and I
Yeah,
love the PBR. I've been to World Finals plenty of times, but they always come to Billings. They always do a pretty good job putting on a show for everybody. So I am hoping that the Outlaws get the backing and the support from obviously the AFL and also the city of the community. I think will be totally in, and then obviously the Metro, and just seeing how they correlate and making it legit so that we can showcase that we can hold that, and we can support that. So good news. What
for
else,
sure.
Mitchell? I cut you off in your weekend because I got so damn excited, and I know you got something a little bit better, even to talk about here. We got a little music, a little
He,
chin music, a little music on
yeah.
chin.
Yeah. So after that, Friday night, and this is another thing about the Metro. I don't know how they do what they do because
Mhm.
obviously Thursday night it was the Outlaws. They had, all their banners with their advertisers. They had the carpet where they play. And then Friday night it turned into a concert venue
Mm.
for Catch Your Breath, Daughtry, and Breaking Benjamin.
Let's
Yeah,
go. It's no surprise I can feel the might. Isn't that the song?
that is. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
there you go.
He
A
did
little
not
Dacia.
sing that song though.
Well, he didn't. See, come on, that's a staple. That's the only one I know. So, and now I
So
know some other ones, but what? Breaking Benjamin. Now, what are they singing? Sorry, what's their big one? Their big one.
Uh, what is their big one?
I
They
mean,
have a few big ones.
I know. I
I'm not
feel bad for saying that.
well, I'm not the biggest fan of I hadn't really listened to a lot of their music before this
Oh,
concert. I went there for Daughtry. I'm a pretty big Daughtry fan.
oh, okay. What do you like about Daughtry so much? You love him.
I don't love him, but I do like him. Uh I actually liked his earlier stuff where he was a little bit more like dad rock, for lack of better words.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, American Idol legend, bro. Like I
Yeah,
stopped watching the show because of that guy. Because when he
right?
didn't win, I was like, remember that year? It was him. It was him, some other star that made it,
Yeah,
and then that gray haired fucking guy that just danced around and
somehow won.
dude, I was like, nah. I remember like
Yeah.
I think it's yeah. The last time I watched that show, Taylor Hicks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Taylor Hicks beat Chris Daughtry that season. What an absolute scam. Anyways,
Yeah, so no, I have to admit with Spotify I've kind of stopped listening to a lot of Daughtry, but I still listen to some, and I didn't realize he has made the shift to like almost like hard rock, like almost metal.
oh
And so when he came out playing the same
yeah,
kind of music that Breaking Benjamin plays, which is hard rock, I was like, this is a shift from what I knew.
oh,
And so it was funny. He played a lot of his new stuff, which was really good. And he only played like two or three songs from his first album,
Hmm.
but nothing from in between,
He's just reinventing himself.
which I totally get. And it was really
Really?
good.
So now who else besides Breaking Benjamin was there?
It was Catch Your Breath. It's a fairly new band.
Yeah, catch your own breath. That's all I got to say. All right, were they any good?
They were actually pretty good. Yeah.
We, I gotta get them. I mean, I gotta figure out the Breaking Benjamin song that I like here.
They
Breaking
had a couple
Benjamin.
songs that seemed like we're in movies.
Oh yes, Diary of Jane. Okay. Okay, yeah. So cold. Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah. Well, missed that one, but all good. Glad to see the Metro doing some stuff. Mitchell, what did you finish out your weekend doing on that wonderful Sunday we were just blessed with? I mean, the weather. The weather was good.
Yeah. So I then finished up my weekend going to Paranormal Cirque at the mall.
Oh, Mitchell, you are touching on. Oh, sexy
I did a little bit
soldier.
of everything this weekend.
You understand that now the Outlaws, the concert, the paranormal, those were all a part of my household conversations as to in regards to what we should do with our weekend. This is so exciting that you're going to have the insight. What was this paranormal circ like? It looked like a pretty decent show, but it also looked like it was in a spot that looked like a pretty good spot to, get shot in the face. Like, that's why I didn't go. I was like, bro, like, there's a tent set up in a parking lot, bro. I don't want nobody, like, sniping me through the tent, man. Like, I don't trust no one.
Okay, so it was nothing like the fairs that come to the mall, Tony, where
Well,
people
I
get shot.
mean, there's some shit going on there. I've been to the mall. I've been to the mall, Mitchell.
But no, it was super fun. So being in a wheelchair, I
Mm.
bought like the cheapest of cheap ticket, right? In the far,
Such a tight ass. You're such a tight ass. Anyways,
no,
go
I
ahead.
would not be able to get up there.
Alligator arms can't even reach his wallet. Anyways, go ahead.
And so we get there and they see I'm in a wheelchair. They're like, oh, hey, yeah, go up front. So I got like
You're like dirty. Dirty. Super
like $20. I'm
paranormal.
like, yeah, I'll do that.
Sorry, go. I can't wait to hear this.
But no, it was super fun. It would kind of remind you, it wasn't so much scary.
See, I was gonna be scared.
Yeah, no. So the scariest part was in the beginning, they walked you through a maze where they had like all the horror movie characters, like Jigsaw from the Saw movies. They had some Freddy Kruegers, things like that. That would the girl from The Ringer that had long hair.
Ooh.
Um, so they had them kind of just like in a maze that you walked through, and that was probably the scariest part
So you had to walk through the maze,
to
like you
get to
had
your
to walk.
seats.
You did.
Yeah,
See, that's a little sick.
but it wasn't even that scary. Like they jumped out at you a little bit, and they like one like came up and touched your face. Sometimes I didn't
Oh
have
my
that, but
god.
my friend did.
Oh my gosh.
And But when you got in there, it was super cool. Kind of felt almost like Vegas, like
Oh.
yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. It was super cool. You know, they had a bunch of like dancers. They had some acrobatics. They had a knife thrower that didn't actually throw the knives, but made it look like he threw the knives. They had some
What? Fake
illusions.
knife thrower?
Yeah,
A knife throwing illusionist?
yeah,
That is fucking paranormal.
yeah. It was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. But my
No.
favorite part was because it was an 18 plus show. Every time the people would leave, they'd flip us off,
Oh.
and like they'd steal people's popcorn that were in the front row, and it was just kind of funny.
Very interesting. Okay, so it's just kind of a nice little bit. I mean, it's cool. It's creative. It's cool. It's something different. It's in Billings. I have no issue with it. I probably should have gone because I
Yeah.
like stuff like that, but not like I don't like the morbid like horror movie stuff. If I could
No, I
never
mean
just get behind that.
the only thing that made it like paranormal
Yeah.
was like a lot of their costumes. They had like fake blood.
Okay.
Um, some of them had like ripped T-shirts. Um,
That just sounds like a hygiene thing.
it,
It's
it
not even
it wasn't
paranormal.
necessarily that they were like paranormal. They were just trying to act like they were ghosts and zombies, and
Wow. So they weren't actual ghosts and zombies. So they were fakes.
they were humans. Yeah.
Wow, that's what you see. I'm glad I didn't go. What a waste of
Uh,
ticket. Anyways, moving on, Mitchell. Um, Mitch, I'm glad you had a great weekend. I'd like to tell you about mine.
yeah. Go ahead.
It was pretty eventful in the sense where it is the start of the Stanley Cup playoffs, Mitchell. It is
Yes,
finally
it
here.
is.
It's
That
almost
is
like
like your
Christmas.
Christmas.
It is, but this thing it's better than Christmas because it lasts for like Christmas actually lasts kind of pretty long for me in my mind too. But the Stanley Cup playoffs is about a 2 month ordeal.
Yeah, it is.
So basically, spend a bunch of time like that. Now, I want to ask your opinion on something here. So Saturday morning, woke up, busted out a quick landscape job. About 2-3 hours of work. Probably burned 1,200 calories. Rocking
Yeah.
and rolling, probably more. Came home. I got this new deal, right? So like, we live in Josephine Crossing. It's not like we got a big pad in the backyard that we can skate around on or whatever with rollerblades. I don't really care what everybody thinks, but I'm just letting you know that I have started skating out front of my house as a 32-year-old man, grown ass man with a family. But I have started rollerblading and dangling cars that pass by and hoisting top titty clappers whenever I want. And what do you think? What's your take on that? Do you think that I will go to the NHL for one? Number two, do you think would you agree that it is a great exercise and I burned 800 calories for skating for an hour? What are your thoughts? What are your take on my habit there?
Okay, so that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's a loaded question.
Yeah, it's a very loaded question.
Mhm.
So let's start with the NHL thing.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's just start with the big dream there.
No, yeah,
Um,
I think that's probably pivotal.
yeah, I think it's nothing more than a big dream at this point, Tony.
Okay,
I
I'm not
love
sure
it.
what you mean by that.
I love your enthusiasm,
Okay.
but I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Do you think now? Why is that? I mean, why could that be? I mean, you've never even seen me play. I mean, I could be
Well,
sitting
okay,
here like totally
I
trolling
mean,
everyone
yeah,
in the
I'm sure
world.
you're just amazing, but here's the thing:
Right.
we're in Billings, Montana,
Okay.
so I just don't think the NHL scouts come here.
Oh no, no, they've heard the buzz too, so
Oh,
they're
they've heard the
here.
buzz. Oh, okay. Well, then
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong.
Have you heard the buzz?
I have not heard the buzz, but I'm also not in the hockey circle. So,
I have not heard the buzz. I have not heard the buzz. Okay, so probably not going to the NHL. Whatever.
secondly, there's just not a whole lot of 32-year-old rookies. Not saying it can't happen, but there's just not a lot.
What about that guy that just started pitching for the Red Sox?
That's why I said there's not a lot.
He's 31. He's 32. 32. That's my age. I tell you, if I put in maybe 16, 17 more hours, I'm right there.
It does happen, but it doesn't happen very often.
All right, whatever. So let's get into Stanley Cup playoffs, Mitchell. Here's the deal. I was perfect. I was perfect last night on the picks of the games as to the over unders, the what the game script is going to be like. So highly encouraged from a betting scenario. I'm going to walk you through here these first round matchups. We got Carolina and the Islanders. Carolina leads 1-0. They went into that game 3-1. They went into that game, kind of played the exact same style as last year. These two teams got matched up in the first round. Very gritty, grindy, like 1-2 nothing games, 1-2, stuff like that, triple overtimes. Now here's the deal: same style, same similar deal. The Islanders are still playing the same style. They're going to play the same style. The Hurricanes, however, they went and added Evgeny Kuznetsov, and they added Jake Gensel. Gensel had 16 points as soon as he got traded for the Canes. Kuznetsov scores a power play goal to open up the Stanley Cup playoffs. Here's a team now that is able to play physical. They're able to play that Stanley Cup playoff style of play, but now they got some dudes that can hurt you, that can cut you real quick. They
Yeah.
are currently ranked number 2 for the betting odds, this Carolina Hurricane team,
Wow.
to win the cup. So I look for the Canes to, keep doing what they're doing. They're a great team. The second round that day, or second game of that day, opening day, was the Bruins Maple Leafs, Mitchell. Bruins at home. They won 5-1. Boston leads the series 1-0. Very difficult matchup as both teams. Boston has been great all year long, except they just, I don't know, from a betting aspect of things, they seem
If a
to hang
team
me at the
wins five
draft.
to one, is the matchup really that great though?
It is. It is. It is. And that's what I mean. You're right. You're right. Very good point. Here's the deal. Toronto is always the same, and I feel bad for them. Toronto, they make the first round, they get beat. It's a curse. The whole city of Toronto melts down. People starts heads. It's every year, and so I'm hoping that they can push past this. Very difficult to do with this Boston team. Toronto's just. If you watched a little bit of that game or saw a highlight, the opening face-off, Max Domi, who is the former, or who is a son of Ty Domi. Ty Domi is a former NHL player that was a great skilled player, but wasn't afraid to drop the mitts by any means. He's infamous for that. Max Domi approaches Brad Marchand, that first opening face-off, and gives him a cross check right to the hands. And Marchand was just like, his reaction was like, okay, bro, like, we're gonna fucking kick you guys' ass. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even close. So, and they did. They went out and rolled them 5-1, man. So I don't know. I'm hoping that the Maple Leafs can transition. Obviously, I'm a big Matthews fan. Love the way he plays. Obviously, he had an incredible season. I'm hoping for him, but Boston, that's a tough round to get matched up with very first playoff game. So
For sure. I saw a funny thing on, I think it was TikTok or Instagram or something, and it was a Maple Leafs fan in the stands, and they showed him at the beginning of the game in a Maple Leafs jersey, and then by the end of the game he was in a Blue Jays jersey.
Didn't want to go outside of the Boston. Yeah, we were rooting for Boston in that one too. I bet Boston. It was really cool, Mitchell, right where our honeymoon, like right where we stayed for our honeymoon on that boat, was like right across from TD Garden.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we got to go in there. So we had that Boston. It had never gone to a Bruins game, but I can imagine it'd be something special. So
yeah.
Saturday or yesterday's games were everything to be hyped up, and then we'll talk about tonight's games, and then I'm done with the NHL. But the first game of yesterday, Florida leads the series 1-0 as they beat the Lightning 3-2 at home. Coin flip of a game, my friend. This is a coin flip of a series as far as I'm concerned. Florida at home, they're tough, they're difficult. That's all I got to say. I mean, this could go either way, but rooting for Florida, wouldn't mind seeing the Lightning as well. Rangers, Caps, they were at home. Capitals are probably going to get swept in this series, is how I feel about this. They just really can't generate the offense that the Rangers can, or, quite frankly, the Capitals can't generate the offense that some of the teams that didn't even make the playoffs can. I believe the Rangers either sweep this series or win 3-1. Last night's game, 5:00 game, the most interesting game. If you caught it, you were in for a serious offensive treat. Nobody really anticipated this, but then you look at the matchups, you look at the speed, you look at how both teams play. The Avalanche took on the Jets at home in Winnipeg, and the Jets won 7-6. They won a touchdown and a missed extra point.
Jeez.
to 6. So explosive offensively. I don't really know what to say about this series. I do have a very, very bold, interesting stat for you that will blow your freaking mind.
Okay, hit me.
The Winnipeg Jets, when leading after 2 periods this season, going into the third period, they're in second intermission, they are 38-1-1.
Wow. That's insane.
That is insane, considering, right? Like hockey, the way things fall, like some of these guys coin flipping each night, puck bounces off the board, puck takes it wrong, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just all these variables. What a stat.
That's crazy.
And then the nightcap of last night, I got a great story for you on this one, Mitchell, because that Colorado Avalanche I was perfect until that game. So the Colorado Avalanche were they lost, right? I had them win in regulation. Missed that one. Okay. I had some chance, and this plays into you as well. I made a little bit of money yesterday and then kind of got smoked on that Avs game. Thought,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to watch the Canucks game. I don't have any action, so I'm going to go down, place my bet. I placed $60 on Quinn Hughes and Roman Yossi each to have an assist. Okay, so
Okay.
I also parlayed it with the Mariners to win -2.5. So they had to win at least by 3.
I think they
They
kicked the
won. They won 10-2.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they kicked their ass. So I think you were good there.
The first goal of the Preds Canucks game, Roman Yossi gets his assist. So all I need is Quinn Hughes for an
Hmm.
assist, and that's a payer. That's a big payer. Okay. Third period, second period didn't go as planned. I don't believe there even was a score change now that I think of the game. I think it was 2-1. Okay. Quinn Hughes, about 10 minutes left in the third, 11 minutes left in the third, blasts one from the high slot, like the high slot, high point, and it looks as though it deflects off someone and goes in. Okay. They give the goal to Quinn Hughes. So I'm like, shit.
Right.
I don't need him to have a goal. I need him to have an assist, right? So, but
Yeah.
I watched a replay and it got misdirected, and I was just like, God, it just doesn't. Maybe it got misdirected off the Predators. Anyways, they don't change it. They announce that he's got the goal. Like they don't change it. They don't. I look at the game afterwards. They don't change it, and I'm thinking, oh well, whatever. Boom. I wake up this morning, and wouldn't you know, the NHL did their due diligence and got it right and gave the goal to the guy that it got deflected off of. Therefore, Quinn Hughes gets the assist and Daddy covers. Let's go, baby.
Nice. How much did you win?
What? Mm, that was a quick 1600 on that one.
Oh, nice.
So that was a good one.
Nice.
So look at a little Hail Mary got me not only back to where I was, but a lot ahead. So yeah, fun because I'm never on the receiving end of that.
Well, you
Yeah.
picked a good time to place a bet on the Mariners. They were playing the Rockies, so if we're
Well, that's
gonna
what I
win a
mean.
game, it's probably gonna be against the Rockies.
Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal: is that was a doubleheader, Mitchell, and they had a makeup game, so they
Yeah.
played a doubleheader. So they actually lost to the Rockies yesterday afternoon. So I'm thinking, there's no way this team loses twice in a row.
No.
Like, there's no way. And they went off 10-2. Let's go. Easy
Yep.
money.
Yep. For sure.
Hell yeah. So that's what I got going. And tonight, as you know, Mitchell, at 8:30, it's nighttime.
Yes.
The Las Vegas Knights taking on the Dallas Stars in Dallas, game 1. Boom.
Nice.
Can't
Nice.
wait.
Nice.
That's obviously my big headliner in regards to that game tonight, as I'm anticipating that one the most. As Vegas is my team, and we look to repeat. But you got game 2 at 5 o'clock of the Bruins and the Maple Leafs, game 2 of the Hurricanes Islanders, and then the late-ish, the one before the night's game, you got the Oilers taking on the Kings in Edmonton.
Ooh.
So now we get to see old Connor McJesus in full force.
McJesus, I like it.
Oh, he is. He is fantastic. He is the most exciting player I've ever watched play.
That's awesome.
Him and McKinnon. McKinnon is spectacular.
That's awesome. So now we're going to go to your favorite sport for a little bit, the NBA.
Yeah, let's do it. I was actually last night sitting on the couch thinking about all the stuff I was going to talk about on our show in regards to the NHL, and I thought I saw an ad for the NBA playoffs, and I thought, well, I'm excited to see what's going on. So, Mitchell, what's going on in the NBA?
Yeah, so we had the play-in games, and so for the Western Conference, the 7 seed is the Lakers from the play-in tournament, and the 8 seed is the Pelicans. So my brother's Kings did not make the playoffs. Sadly, they lost to the Pelicans, and
Oh.
did not make it in. And then for the East, it is the Sixers are the 7 seed and the Heat are the 8 seed.
Oh wow.
So they had that, and then they've had the first game of their first round. And really, there's no upsets. I mean, the higher seed won in every single one.
Wasn't even
So,
close.
no, the only one that was kind of close and was actually kind of a crazy barn burner game was excuse me, the Suns and Timber or no, the Suns and Timberwolves was kind of a blowout, excuse me. It was the Thunder Pelicans that was pretty close, which is surprising considering that's a 1 and 8 seed.
Very much so.
But they just played a really low scoring game. I think both teams were under 100 points, which in
Wow.
today's NBA is
Never
unheard of.
happens. Yeah.
And no, I do think OKC is fine and they're going to win that no problem. But New Orleans isn't exactly an easy 8 seed.
Heck yeah.
They're kind of like, I mean, the NHL is obviously a little bit deeper, but the NBA is kind of almost like that, where, I mean, the 8 seed in the East is Miami, and Miami, the last few years, has been a lower seed and made it either to the conference championship or the NBA finals. The Sixers are one of the best teams in the East. They're the 7 seed because they've had injuries. There's some good teams. LeBron's Lakers are the 7 seed.
Heck yeah. I mean, these guys could get hot, right?
Yeah, I don't know if LeBron and his team could, because
I hope
once they
not.
get past LeBron and Anthony Davis, they don't have much. But yeah, I think we're kind of seeing the end of LeBron.
Heck yeah. Mitchell, sorry, just have to. Can we edit this out and pause this real quick?